Welcome back. You're watching the Urban Debates in Mirror now. This is our focus for today, and I want to tell you this story. Now, last Thursday, a new government was sworn in Spain. Now, hang in there. I'll tell you why this is interesting. This new government in this new cabinet has more women than it does men. In fact, the cabinet currently has the highest number of female ministers in Spain's history. 11 women and 4 men have taken up places right now in Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's new government. And you know what's even better? The women in the Spanish government haven't been given girly portfolios like women in child development and art and history. Women in Spain are overseeing finance, justice, defense, education, and some of the most important jobs in the country. Quite frankly, tonight, viewers, I must tell you, I'm jealous. In Canada and France, the cabinet is 50% female. In Rwanda and UAE, the numbers are better than India's cabinet. Now, I know you'll say Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman has just become the first woman defense minister of India, and that's fantastic. But let's take a look at the whole picture. Now, according to a study that was conducted by the Inter-Parliamentary Union as of February this year, India ranks 148 in a list of 193 countries, and that's not great as far as women representation in government is concerned. Now, the world average for women representation is about 22%, all the countries together, and India is still half of that, with a sorry 11% in both Rajya Sabha and in Lok Sabha. And there's a reason why these statistics are bothersome, because countries like Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Fiji and Ghana rank better than India when it comes to representation of women in parliament. If that's not enough, look closer to home. Our South Asian neighbors, Nepal does better than us, Afghanistan does better than us, Pakistan does better than us, and so does Bangladesh. That should be embarrassing. Now, historically speaking, since 1947, India has had only one woman prime minister, one woman president, no vice president who's been a woman. And out of the 28 states that we have, we've seen only 19 women chief ministers till date, ever. It makes us ask about the Women's Reservation Bill. Now, the Women's Reservation Bill caps a quota of 33% women in Parliament and in every state assembly. It was introduced by the Congress government and passed in the Rajya Sabha. However, since then, the bill has now lapsed, which means that if you start now, you have to start from the beginning again. And the current BJP government, which promised 33% reservation for women in Parliament, has not reintroduced that bill. The government says it's waiting to build a consensus, even though it has a clear majority in the lower house, so it needs no consensus there. And it has the support, clear support of several opposition parties when it comes to this specific bill. So my question tonight is fairly direct. Why is this government dragging its feet on the Women's Reservation Bill? This is the same government that did such a bang-up, fantastic job in pushing the Triple Talaq Bill in spite of the fact that they were opposition, in spite of the fact that there were objections. But why is it waiting on this bill for a consensus? Now, let's not forget the 2014 Lok Sabha election manifesto where the BJP pledged 33% reservation for Parliament. Mr. Prime Minister, what are you waiting for? That's the question we're asking today. What are we waiting for? Why won't the government introduce or reintroduce into Parliament the Women's Reservation Bill when it can clearly pass it through Lok Sabha and obviously has the support in Rajya Sabha? Joining me on the show this evening, Shama Mohammed, the spokesperson of the Congress Party. Major General Anil Verma is the head and the national coordinator of the Association for Democratic Reform. Ranjana Kumari is the director for the Centre for Social Research. Anila Singh for the BJP. Appa Singh is an advocate and an activist. I thank all of you for joining us on the show. Major General Anil Verma, I thank you for bravely joining this panel full of women. And I welcome all of your opinions. I'm going to start with you. We've noticed that we're stuck at 11%, both for Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In your opinion, how difficult would it be to move the women's reservation bill through Parliament at this point, given the fact that various opposition parties have already said they support it?
Actually, the figure is roughly 8.8% in the Lok Sabha as well as the aggregate if you take for all the state assemblies of India. My take is that somehow there is a great reluctance on the part of the political parties to grant this reservation of 1/3 or 33% in the legislative arena to the women, whereas it is extremely important that this should be given. And if I were to give you a little bit of statistics, during the last Lok Sabha elections, when there were 3 states which were being ruled by women chief ministers, that is Jayalalitha, Mamata Banerjee and BSP also, though she was not a chief minister, but the number of candidates which they fielded. Trinamool fielded only 43 women out of 293. BSP only 21 out of 403. And AIDMK only 29 out of 234. So, what do you expect from the men? If you recall what Lalu Prasad and Mulayam Singh said in the Lok Sabha about the reservation. And this first bill was introduced, I think, in 1996, and then again reintroduced in 2008, and then again reintroduced, and again nothing has come out of it. And our ranking in various issues, like the Global Gender Report of 2016 also, India is ranked 112 out of 144 nations as far as women in parliament goes. IPU detail, I think you already mentioned, we are 149th out of 193 UN members as far as the number of women in this. So we are actually in a very abysmal position, and there is no doubt that if the women reservation increase, I am quite certain that the level of politics in our country will improve. In various other social sectors also, we have other experts who can comment on that. It has been seen that if the women is empowered, the society itself gets empowered, because with her, the family, the other surrounding, everybody gets empowered. So I don't know, we have to get out of these prejudiced, gender bias mentality which we have not only in the politics but in the society and in the economic sector or wherever you have it. They are given lesser wages, they are given menial jobs, they are given the hard and like the MNCs and all are also exploiting the women labor all over. So I'm just giving you an overview. This is my impression that we need to take this up seriously. Like the 73rd and 74th amendments, they provided for reservation in the PRI, the Panchayat Raj institutions, and that has worked, but due to certain I would say lacuna that we have in our societies, even there the women are put up as candidates as a front, and actually the husband is doing the job. As you may have heard, we have these MLA patis, and similarly we have these Pradhan patis. And
all right, let me bring in the rest of the panel right now. One second, Major General Verma. Yes. I just want opening statements from all our panelists as well. Ranjana Kumari of the Center for Social Research. Why is it important to have more women in positions of power when it comes to making decisions? Why should we have more women in cabinet and in parliament?
Well, you see, when you look at the global index, which just now the other panelists talked about, where are we really lagging behind? We are lagging behind in terms of girls' education, women's health, in terms of maternal mortality rate. We are lagging behind in terms of women's employment, so most of them land up in informal sector. In fact, they have walked out of the informal sector. Almost 10% women are missing from our labor force in last 1 decade. So there are various social and economic indicators where, because women are not really in the policy making positions, women are not really able to frame the laws, women are not able to really talk about the economy when budget is presented. So there is no gender budgeting, there is no special focus on women's health and education programs, there is no, so there are many reasons. But the problem at the moment is, you talked about BJP's commitment and all political parties' commitment. I think the ball is in the court of all the men sitting in the parliament, because it is they who are feeling threatened. It is they who are, whichever is the party, women have shown the winnability which is higher. Women have voted more than men. Even in 2014 election, Mr. Modi should thank women for voting BJP more, trusting his party to provide safety and security to women. So women voted more. Women in Panchayati Raj elections, the numerous studies are talking about there is nothing like Pati Pradhan. Some areas it may be because traditionally those areas are more patriarchal than the other. So they are doing phenomenal job in terms of rural development, water, sanitation, environment, so many issues. These women panchayat which are excelling. So they are performing at the local level, they are making democracy more stronger by coming out and voting. But when it comes to seat, their winnability is under question, and they don't have money, muscle, mafia. And I think if we want to get rid of all that from our democratic system, that's another reason that we should give more women. But at the moment, the problem, Faye, is that we have this chulha chauka approach to women's empowerment. Chulha chauka approach also includes bachao. So you want to bachao beti, but you don't want to empower women. You want to give them more chulha so they can do comfortable cooking, but you don't want them to come out and get education, and you don't want to attack the child marriage in the senior manner. So it is chulha chauka approach of empowerment. That is what is the problem. These people sitting in parliament and in power, they do not want women to come out as individuals, and they do not want women to enjoy the constitutional guarantee as a citizen. They are depriving them. And also another reason is that also they are depriving women of resources. Imagine if as many MPs, some friend of mine calculated, it runs into few thousand crores that all these men MPs get and enjoy. And if there were 33% women, they would have got the same money to do work in their own area, do things. And also one more word of my feeling of pain, that a lot of women who get elected, poor women, I mean, I really pity their political status, because they are not able to do anything in the party. Not a single women BJP MP in last 4.5 years has raised this issue in the parliament. And what happened to women reservation bill? Except for a letter from Sonia Gandhi, nobody has spoken about women reservation bill in parliament. In fact, in Rajya Sabha, when there was a motion after President's speech that it should be incorporated into President's speech, it was defeated. It was defeated by BJP vote. So I don't think this chulha chauka approach people will think women can be empowered like in Bangladesh or like in Nepal.
Let me bring in Anila Singh to respond to this.
Sri Lanka.
Yes, so like I said in the introduction, Pakistan has better numbers than India right now in its parliament. Anila Singh, is the BJP not serious about bringing in the women's reservation bill?
No, Faye, it is not like that, and I think so. This is one issue where all the politicians, women politicians, so I call them politicians, like we all are on same platform, and we all want this bill to get passed as early as possible. But as a BJP worker, and especially as a women worker of Bharatiya Janata Party, I know it very well that Bharatiya Janata Party really wants to get this bill passed, and very seriously they are working on it, and they want that each and every political party, they should have a very positive approach on it. And as Ms. Kumari said, that yes, I totally appreciate Sonia Gandhi ji for one thing, that she had asked Modi ji to get this bill introduced again and get it passed. Though we know very well that...
Anila Singh, I'm sorry, forgive me for interrupting you. When you say that the Bharatiya Janata Party is working very hard on this bill right now, what do you mean? It's already ready. It had already been tabled once. It just needs to be reintroduced. So what is this hard work that is being done?
And we very well know that last time also there are few political parties and who are allies of Congress as well in political scenario. They had some reservations. So it is better that we all, like all political parties, they come to a consensus, and then this bill should be passed. and our party, they wanted to have discussion on it, and we are the one like we got the bill passed on instant triple talaq.
Okay, all right. So,
shows
Anila
that,
Singh,
yes,
you're
we
actually
want
arguing
this,
against
women
yourself right
reservation bill
now.
to be passed as well.
You're arguing against yourself right now because you pushed triple talaq even though there was opposition, and in this case there is no opposition. You actually have clear and strong numbers. There's absolutely no one who will stand in your way when it comes to the women's reservation bill. Shama Mohammed will respond and then Abba Singh. Shama Mohammed, go ahead.
Yeah, Faye, please give me some time. It's a request from my side. Please don't interrupt me. Now, I just want to say from the start, from the 90s, 80s, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi has been working on the women's reservation. And in 1993, we passed it for the panchayat and the municipals, 33% reservation. It was stalled in 89, but 93 we passed. Now, when the UPA came to power in 2004, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi was very much into this 33% of reservation for the Lok Sabha as well as the Legislative Assembly. In 2010, we passed it in the Rajya Sabha. I don't know what Anila Singh is saying that we have passed something. I don't know which bill she's talking about. Now, in 2014, and we couldn't pass it in the Lok Sabha because we did not have a majority. In the 2014 manifesto of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Modi promised that he will pass. I didn't interrupt. He's promised that he will pass this particular bill because when he comes into power. Now, they have a brute majority in parliament. Last year, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi again wrote to the Prime Minister saying, please pass this. You have a brute majority in the parliament. You can pass it. And it had not lapsed in the Rajya Sabha. Then the Mahila Congress president, Ms. Sushmita Dev, again wrote to, through all our DCC presidents, wrote to the Prime Minister, wrote to the president last year, and even protested outside the parliament, but nobody, including the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Mr. Anand Kumar, did not engage with us. We took it up in parliament, but it does not come in for discussion. So the Congress party has done everything on its part to pass this bill because we want 33 reservation in parliament, and we have done it before with the panchayat. But Mr. Modi does not have the will. Because if he, like you said, if he wants to pass something, the triple talaq was done without debate, without discussion, and without getting the key stakeholders. This is so easy. Every woman wants it. All of us sitting here want it. Why is it that Mr. Modi and the Bharatiya Janata Party refuse to pass this bill when he has promised in his 2014 manifesto? Another lie. And let's say the women, the empowerment of women come through this. Why? And let's not forget what Mr. Adityanath said, that if a bill like this passes, it will be against everything, because when men get female sort of powers, they become gods, but when women get the masculine powers, they become demons.
Okay, let me bring in Abba Singh. All right, let me bring in Abba Singh, please.
And they do not want to pass it at any cost.
Abba Singh, let's look at this objectively at this point and realize that if we take a look at the Gujarat elections that happened state, the Karnataka elections that happened state, the number of women that was fielded by these political parties was laughable. And the truth is that we will not get representation unless it's forced through the law. Do you believe this government is dragging its feet, Abba Singh?
Exactly. I mean, no, here I would like to differ from the Congress spokesperson. She's forgetting that the recent, in the last session, it was passed by Lok Sabha. BJP did pass the women reservation bill, but when it came to Raj Sabha, at that moment of time, Raj Sabha, Congress had a majority, but the Congress did not pass it this time. So this time, in spite of Sonia Gandhi writing, I think they have not walked the talk. They did not pass it in Raj Sabha, and that is why it did not become a law.
Sorry.
So if they are serious, if Congress it's a fact. It's a fact. You sent it to a standing committee. Please go and see it. You did not pass it. You said it should go to a standing committee. Why did, when Lok Sabha had passed it, why did you send it to a standing committee? Raj Sabha sent it to a standing committee.
Ladies, one second. Abba Singh, let me just set something.
When the apex court has only 12% judges.
One second. Let me. Okay, hang on. Abba Singh, there seems to be a factual error in what you're saying. I just want to bring in Major General Anil Verma. Major General Anil Verma, could you please take us through? 1 second. Ladies. All right. Major General
I'm
Anil
sorry,
Verma,
Abha,
could
you
you
have
just,
it wrong.
one second,
I won't agree on this.
Shama Mohammed, Major General Anil Verma, could you just take us through the process? From my understanding, the UPA government passed this bill in Rajya Sabha, but they weren't able to pass it in Lok Sabha. And then when the governments changed, the bill lapsed. Since then, it has not been reintroduced. Is that correct? Major General Anil Verma.
Yes, 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 it's right. It's right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. So
That's
Abbas,
correct.
yes. So Abbas Singh, I don't believe that's correct. It has just not been reintroduced at all by the BJP government, even though it was
No,
part
not
of the
at all.
manifesto.
I mean, it was there in the Lok Sabha, it went to Raj Sabha, and Raj Sabha has sent it to a standing committee for discussion. And that is why it lapsed.
Abha, you are wrong.
I mean, I think it
Please,
should
for
be
once
seen
you are
because it
really
was not
wrong.
passed, it was introduced last time.
Abha, for once
please,
you are
please
really,
go
really,
through.
really wrong.
Ranjana
Abha,
Kumari ji, please.
please don't misinformation.
You,
Can I, Abha, can I just correct you because I'm
Fine,
tracking
I mean,
it
then you
from
tell
day
what-
one,
No, Abha Singh
and
is-
we are in the, we
no,
have
no,
sent
Abha
Prime
Singh-
Minister
Abha Singh
letter.
is totally correct, Ms. Kumari. What she is saying is absolutely correct.
No, I don't believe so. I don't
no,
believe
it's
so.
not
One
true.
second.
My God,
Ranjana
you
Singh,
people
go
don't
ahead.
even follow what happens in Parliament.
Ranjana Singh, please go ahead.
No.
Can I say something?
Ranjana Kumari, go ahead, please. Ranjana ji.
Okay, so
It has not passed through the Lok Sabha.
yes,
1996
Faye, let me put the facts. Faye, let me put the facts right. Fact is that since NDA government has come to power, you were absolutely right that bill has not even been listed in the business agenda of the parliament. Forget about tabling it. It has never been tabled, never discussed in Lok Sabha, never even brought into the Rajya Sabha. Only bill which was passed was in Rajya Sabha in 2010 on 9th March. After that, this bill has not been introduced by UPA in Lok Sabha. Neither it has been introduced, not even discussed. Forget about discussion. It has not been even listed in the business advice. We are tracking it on daily basis. So please, Abha, believe me that you are totally wrong on this fact. And please check the facts.
Fine,
You can just go
I
to
would
the
like
net
to check
and
my
check
facts,
it out.
Ranjana
It's
Kumari ji.
everywhere. All this
I
is,
would
and
check my facts.
In fact, I have collected
I will
all this
definitely check my facts.
information.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Abha.
All right, let me take the questions back to Anila Singh.
You've
One
got it
second,
wrong
one second.
this
I'll
time.
check
Let
the
me tell
facts.
you
Let
that.
me
All
check
right.
the facts. Let me check the facts.
Let me take the questions back to Anila Singh, who represents the BJP. Anila Singh, I'll break down the questions one by one. Why is it that the Women's Reservation Bill was never tabled before Parliament by the current BJP government? Do you not believe that women should get reservation? And I'm not asking you personally for your opinion. I want to know what is the official stand of the party.
To start with, like Congress should not take all the credit the way Shama Mohammed is saying that it was introduced. I mean, I'm going to reply your question, but before that, I want to say that we can't deny the fact that in 1996, H.D. Devagoda government, they had tabled this bill, and then again nothing happened in it, and then Atal Bihari Vajpayee as a PM, again he
but it
tried
was passed in
to get this
2010.
bill passed.
Ladies.
Again nothing happened, and then in 2008 UPA government definitely they reintroduced the bill, and it got passed in Rajya Sabha and it was stuck in Lok Sabha, though UPA was governing this country at that time. So they don't have any excuse by saying
You're not answering
that
my
we,
question.
like Congress was not in the majority, and that is
Anila
why
Singh,
we
Anila
were not
Singh,
able to
Anila
pass it.
Singh, answer
But
my
yes,
question.
as
What are you
NDA is
saying?
in
One
power,
second, don't yell at each
we
other.
all
I'm
will
sorry,
benefit
what
in
are
this
you
time.
saying?
And secondly,
What is
I'm
Anila
saying very
Singh
clearly,
saying?
might be pinching you, but
So, ND, what are you saying?
See,
I'm
Shama,
sorry.
I am pretty sure the
All right,
amount
Anila
you-
What
Singh.
are you saying? We were in power. We
Shama,
passed
I'm
it in the
very sure
Rajya
that
Sabha.
each and every woman sitting on
you
this
have no
panel, we
knowledge,
all
my
want
dear.
this
You need to
reservation
read.
bill,
You
women
have to start
reservation
reading
bill
before
to
coming
get
on a
passed.
debate.
So let us not fight on it. Let us not
All right,
fight
Anila
on it.
Singh, can I ask you the
am also
question
not
again?
doing it.
And I am
ladies,
all
ladies,
my
calm down.
policies
Calm
Can I
down,
come
calm
in?
down.
I agree. I stand
want us to
corrected.
get
I
passed.
stand corrected. This bill has not
let
been
us not
introduced.
fight on it.
I
All
was
right, one
confused
second,
with
one
the
second,
Talak
one second.
bill.
Everybody calm down.
My
Let me come
political
in a small
party,
thing.
they
All
never
right,
did that.
everybody
I'll
calm
say
down,
no.
please.
My
Anila
political
Singh,
party,
you
they
are not
going to
answering the
favor
question
this.
that I asked
That
you.
that
This is
one
not a
thing
platform
really-
for you to talk
See,
about
I know
opposition. I know you like to
Faye,
talk
I
about
agree.
opposition.
Faye, I agree.
Okay, I'm going to just manage the mics now. Abba Singh first, please.
And I'm pretty sure that before
Abba Singh,
Yeah,
please.
Faye, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Ranjana Kumari is right. I was confused with the triple talaq bill, which was passed in the Lok Sabha, but was not passed by the Raj Sabha. And that is where I said, but yes, for reservation, definitely, BJP has not moved it, although it was their issue that they would give. And I'm hopeful that in this year of election, maybe wiser councils would prevail and they would give reservation in the parliament. But more important is even Supreme Court. We have just 12% judges, making it only 7 women judges in the Supreme Court. So having one defense minister is tokenism till the time you actually don't have 50%. When they have 50% of the population, I would not settle for 33%. Like Panchayat Raj, it should be 50%. And I was talking of triple talaq when it was a progressive bill which was not passed by Raj Sabha. So that is why I was a little confused there.
So, fair enough, Abba Singh, and I appreciate the fact that you've come back with grace and you've accepted that that you've corrected the points that you made. 1 second, Shama Mohammed. I just want to ask Anila. I want to give Anila Singh a second opportunity, a third, in fact, to answer the question that I asked, which she has not answered up until now. Anila Singh, I'm going to ask you the question.
I just want to say something.
I'll come back. You'll want to respond to Anila Singh anyway. I'll come back to you after this.
No, I had answered Faye, but other panelists were shouting so
I'll
much
ask
that
you
you
again.
might have not heard what I said.
Yes, which is why I'm going to ask you again.
Faye,
Is
I
the
will
Bharatiya
repeat again,
Janata
I'll
Party
repeat again.
against women's
repeat
reservation? Is my question. What is the official stand of the party?
Absolutely not, Faye, and absolutely not, Faye. And very strongly I say this thing, and in a very convinced and committed manner, that Narendra Modi ji, he is the only Prime Minister who has got that type of guts that he can get women reservation bill passed. And I'm pretty sure...
So why hasn't he done it up till now?
With the support of other political parties, including Congress, RJD, SP, and so on, that this bill will be passed. Yes, I totally... Yes, Faye. I agree with one thing, that with SC, ST reservation, OBC reservation should also be there in the women reservation bill. So that is one thing, and I'm sure that government is working on it, and I really hope so. I can hope so because I can't say it in very clear terms that when this bill can be passed, but I'm sure that in coming session this bill might get introduced, and as I said, that we are hoping that we are going to get all support from all the political parties, and we all will be discussing this reservation bill in a positive manner next time when we sit together.
Well, Anila Singh, you said a lot of things, but none of it was very conclusive. And if you want to, and let me just recap to our viewers what Anila Singh said. She said Narendra Modi ji is the only person, only Prime Minister with the guts to pass the women's reservation bill. Now, that's a rather odd statement to make, and if that is true, it should have been done by now. So, if the party has the guts, why haven't you passed the bill? The only possible answer could be because you don't want to. Nothing is standing in your way, Anila Singh. There's no opposition, you have the numbers, you have everything you need. So if you have the guts and the numbers, I don't know why this hasn't been done yet. All right, Shama Mohammed, go ahead, please.
You can listen to Anila Singh, and you heard that the first statement she made, she said that, thanks to Sonia Gandhi, it happened in 2010. Then she comes out and says that, it is not because of the Congress party. So she herself is confused. She's not sure what's happening. Number two, what I want to point out is the Congress party is the one who's got the first Prime Minister in India, a female.
I am not
the
confused.
first woman president again from the Congress, and the first woman speaker. But having all this, it doesn't... And it's not justified. We still are fighting for the women's reservation bill, and they have a defense minister right now, a foreign minister, and still nobody is speaking about the women's bill. wait a minute, I'm talking. None of the leaders, senior leaders are even asking them to table the bill in the parliament. Now she says Narendra Modi is the only one, the strongest. Then why is he not doing it? She doesn't give a concrete answer. I mean, they have the number. It's so easy for him to pass it. And also what comes out of this is Narendra Modi is a liar, and a big liar, because he promised the people in 2000, promised us women that he will pass it. Why is he not passing? Just like everything. So it is a lie. It is a lie, Faye. We have to catch hold of a lie when it's a lie.
Faye,
he has the number in the Lok Sabha. It is so easy. He has a group majority.
Faye, can I
it
come
was not
in?
like when UPA was in power.
Faye, I want to come in. Just
This
for
is the
10
last
We know
seconds.
that
response
violence
because-
against women, and when women come into power, we'll be more transparent.
Faye, I
there
want
will
to
be
come
less
in. I want
corruption
to come
and
in.
we'll be more transparent.
I
Women are much
definitely
more
want this
transparent.
reservation bill to get passed, but I definitely do not want Congress to take credit on it. Nobody can deny this fact that in 1996, S.C. Devegoda,
that's the only
government
that's your
tabled.
point of
Then
argument.
I will read
You know
something.
what? Okay, hang on.
Give me 10 seconds,
I want to speak.
please.
No, I want to hear Ranjana Kumari,
What
please.
did she
Yes,
say?
yes. Please manage the audio for me. I want to be able to hear Ranjana Kumari. Ranjana Kumari ji, if you can hear me. Unfortunately, instead of talking about how we can move
Yes,
this
I can.
bill through, the politicians are busy talking about who's going to take credit. The job is not even done yet. And this is the problem that we have.
I think Faye, yes, Faye, I think both the women sitting in the studio should know that we all are equally disempowered, whether it is Anila or whether it is the Congress representative. They should know that all their parties are not giving ticket to women to contest. Whether it is Congress, whether it is left parties, whether it is BJP, all. So all women are disempowered. Why should you fight with each other? In fact, you should fight with your party leaders, the men who are controlling your parties, the men who are controlling the committees, the men who are distributing the tickets, the men who are deciding how many women and from where who will contest, the men who are really choosing the women, not only deciding, they're choosing the women whom they should give the ticket to. So if you're giving so much power to the male politicians, and ask the party in power, who's stopping Mr. Narendra Modi to take the credit? Please take the credit. Women have voted for you, and women will vote in large numbers because you will create history if you will pass 33% reservation bill. So nobody is saying that, you should not do it. And why should Anila and you fight in the studio? Please don't. Because all of us are equally disempowered. We've been only given chulhas to cook, and we've been only told to be bachao. And we are only being told this, press that button, press this button when you are attacked by men. Nobody has created a button where men should get a shock when they try to ill-treat women. Nobody has created that button. So let us start doing that. Let's create a button which, when men will misbehave with women inside the parliament, in political parties, when there is sexual harassment, then that button will really give them a good electric shock to understand what they are doing to women of this country. So I think let BJP take the credit. Let BJP be the party in the country to give 33% reservation to women. But let me tell you one more fact. We have sent one letter every day to Prime Minister's office for an appointment for a women's delegation to discuss women reservation bill. Prime Minister in 4 years of time has not found one 5-minute time to be given to women's organizations. Let me tell you another fact, that we have been sending 1 million signatures from across the country. We have done numerous rallies, dharnas, bhukh hartals, whatever possible action to remind the government that, please bring the women reservation bill. We are going to post thousands of letters from across the country to remind Mr. Prime Minister that this bill is pending. So don't say that women are doing all forms of action across the country, but look at the political parties, look at the Karnataka election. How many BJP women got seat?
3.
How many Congress women got seat? How many any other party? Look at even a party. So every party across is equal culprit.
But I'll tell you who has a reservation. Ranjana Kumari, let me go to Abha Singh with this. This is interesting. And I know that Major General Verma will also have a view. You know who has 33% reservation in Parliament, Abha Singh? People with criminal track records. We have 33% criminals in Parliament. They have a reservation, we don't.
Definitely. In fact, there are 49 numbers to be precise in the parliament, MLAs, MPs who have, in fact, they are members of parliament who have a criminal record. But Faye, what is important is that both Congress and BJP, Rajna Kumari is very right when she says when it comes to ticket distribution, women are the lowest priority, and even only those women are given who are either the wives or the daughters or the friends of these politicians. So on merit, we can count the women. I think only Mamata Banerjee or would be another one or two politicians who have come with their own grit. Otherwise, it is only largesse which is distributed by the male politicians. We have not forgotten the manner in which the women reservation bill was torn by a MP in the parliament when it was being passed. So that is the way they treat women of this country. And I think, but I am hopeful that before 2019 elections, if BJP is thinking of giving a better show, it has to give reservation to women. Otherwise, it is going to be wiped out, because women are not going to vote for BJP in 2019 if they do not get the reservation which is promised to them.
Major General Anil Verma, we had a conversation during, the winter session, during the budget session, when the entire finance bill with all the modifications and especially really dodgy modifications on, global funding of politics was just passed without discussion in the middle of a disrupted house. So let's be honest about the fact that this government knows how to pass a bill or an amendment if it wants to. So the fact that this hasn't moved politically, what are you reading into it? Do you think this government is waiting for elections, or is it just too inconvenient a thing to pass?
Faye, basically it is a question of not what the political representatives were talking about, that Modi is lying or so and so. It is basically they cannot afford to annoy the majority of the male politicians. That is one. Second is the winnability factor. In the last Lok Sabha elections, 206 independent women candidates contested. None of them won. So therefore, the women candidates have to be fielded by the prominent political parties. And just to blame the men like Ranjana ji was doing is also not right, because in my opening remarks I told you TMC, AIDMK and the other one, all BSP, all ruled by women but did not give tickets to women. Yes. A very meager number were given. So therefore it is a very challenging and a complex issue. The political bosses basically do not want to take the risk of annoying their males, because they know they are the ones who want to get elected, and that is why, like you mentioned, the 33% figure of people with criminal cases is a standard thing now in all our legislatures. Similarly, the representation of women is restricted to 8 to 9%, whether it is assembly or the Lok Sabha. So this percentage has to improve, and it can be done only when there is a will to do it. Unfortunately, the will is lacking.
Right. I've run out of time, but I just have one question for both of our political representatives, and it's a yes or no. One second. It's a yes or...
One point.
Yes, Shama Mohammed.
1 point. I just want to rebut to what he mentioned. One thing he said that it's not about Mr. Modi being a liar. Okay, what I want to tell him is that if you knew that there is so much of pressure from the rest of the party, do not promise. Don't put it in the manifesto.
Okay.
Just tell. Mr. Modi could have said, I'm going to try for it. But why does he promise things and not do it? That's why.
So I have one question. If I may ask my question, please. If I may ask my question, please. If I may ask my question to the political representatives, it's a yes or no answer.
Faye, can I come in?
1 second. Yes or no answer. Anila Singh, does the Bharatiya Janata Party have an internal complaints committee to deal with sexual harassment complaints that might come in from inside the party? Yes or no?
I don't have knowledge about it, so I can comment.
So there are two problems there. One is if you
the
have
fact
a complaint.
that,
1 second. No, that you're done.
In
One.
independent Indian history, like
What?
Modi cabinet has got 6 women cabinet ministers.
It
So
is
we can't
it
deny
is
the
part
fact
of the
that,
law
yes, and
under
first
the
defense
Vishaka
minister of this
guidelines for
country.
every
So Modi
organization
is
with more
very
than 10
serious to
members
get
and employees
politicians in
to have an
politics.
internal complaints committee to deal with sexual harassment. If you do
then
have a
it's much
committee,
easier,
which I don't
Anila.
think you do, and how can you as a women member of the party not know where the committee is? You should know by now. Shama Mohammed, same question. Does the Indian National Congress
Faye,
have an internal
Faye,
complaints
I think none
committee?
of the political parties, they have got such
And
committee.
that's possibly one of the reasons why we should have more female
It
representatives.
should
Shama
be there.
Mohammed.
It should be there. I don't deny that.
All right. My question is to Shama Mohammed. Does the Indian National Congress have
I
an
agree
internal
with you,
complaints
Faye.
committee?
We are in the process of setting it up, because last time we debated on this and we have also taken it up with our party, and I agree with you totally that we need something like this. More women, even if the Bharatiya Janata Party passes the bill, we are happy, because at the end of the day,
But
we
you don't
women
have an
need to be
internal
empowered.
complaints
Whether it's
committee.
you, me, Anila, or
Shama
Ranjana
Mohammed, you
Kumari
do
ji
not
or
have an
Abbas
internal
Singh,
complaints
every one of
committee
us.
for sexual harassment. As
We
per
are-
the
no,
law,
we are
under the
setting it up.
Vishaka
We do
guidelines,
not.
you're supposed to have one. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to wrap this up right now. I want to thank my panelists for coming in. But I want to pay attention to what Ranjana Kumari has said. The signature campaigns that have gone to the Prime Minister's office, the entire campaign that women have been asking for time to talk about the Women's Reservation Bill now for 4 years, and they haven't been given time to have this conversation. And this is the reason why. Because every time there is an important decision being taken, an important vote, an important thing that changes the way we live our lives, we have to have women there to represent what women need. It's as simple as that. You know, a lot of people ask this question, saying that, oh, you know, women politicians have not been able to stop rape. You have to understand, we need women in parliament so that when there is a debate about women's issues, there are women there to talk about it. If we had a women's reservation bill, perhaps we would have more finance ministers in our states who are women. Currently, do you know how many finance ministers in our states are women? 0. We would have more women in the GST Council. Do you know how many women we have in the GST Council? 0. And what is the GST Council deciding? How much tax we pay on sanitary napkins? How much tax we pay on diapers? How much tax we pay on underwear, on bras, on panties, on things that women have to use? Who's making these decisions? Men. You must remember that women are half this country. And this will be unjust and unfair until women are 50% at every table, in every room that is making an important decision. And that's not just in Parliament. It's in every boardroom. It's in every office, every school, every college, every classroom. Women must be 50%. And if you look around you and you realize that in the boardroom that you're sitting at or in the office that you sit at, women are not 50%, remember, it is because the door was shut on some of them when they wanted to come in. Some may be in school, some may be in college, some may be at the application point of that particular job. It is going to be a long, long road to correct this problem, given that it has been built over centuries. Centuries where one gender has been crushed by another. But we can correct it if we at least take the steps that are within our reach. The Women's Reservation Bill is within our reach. And I beg tonight that the members of our government consider it important enough to table and pass through. Thanks for watching. Well, something I do want to share with you viewers. It's a massive impact for us at Mirror Now. If you're a regular viewer of this channel and this show, you know that we've had over the last 10 days a relentless campaign to save the people in Mahul. The Maharashtra Pollution Control Board report has highlighted 2 serious violations by 2 factories in Mumbai's Mahul, which was causing a tremendous amount of pollution that was making a lot of people sick. The 30,000 families that have been moved into that neighborhood are very, very sick. Today, the Maharashtra Environment Minister, Mr. Ramdas Kadam, has asked the Pollution Board to take action. Closure notices will be sent to 2 of those factories and they will be told to shut shop. He has confirmed that unless the pollution levels are brought down, the companies will not be allowed to open. Take a look.
सर महाराष्ट्र पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड ने लास्ट वीक मिरर नाउ के कैंपेन के बाद जो 2 रिफाइनरीज है उसको सर इंस्पेक्ट किया था और तब के टाइम पे और आज भी हमने एमपीसीबी ऑफिशियल से बात की, उन्होंने बोला वायलेशंस नॉन कंप्लायंस रिपोर्ट जो है वो सामने आया है। तो अब सर गवर्नमेंट जो है वो क्या एक्शन लेगी?
नहीं, इसमें गवर्नमेंट नहीं, प्रदूषण नियंत्रण महामंडल की एक्शन लेगी, बिल्कुल लेती है। इसमें सूचना नेता आदित्य जी ठाकरे, उनके पास माहौल के बहुत सारे लोगों ने कंप्लेंट किया, तकरार किया है, दुर्गंधी आती है, लोग वहाँ रह नहीं सकते हैं। आदित्य जी ने मुझे ये बात बताई थी, मैं खुद जाके वहाँ विजिट दिया था, और उसमें बाद में मैं प्रदूषण नियंत्रण महामंडल के अधिकारियों को वहाँ मैं भेजा था कंपनी में। उन्होंने कंपनी चेक किया और उसमें बहुत सारे वायलेंस अभी निकले हैं। मेरे ख्याल से अभी एक 10-15-20 मिनट के अंदर ही दोनों कंपनी को क्लोजर का अभी नोटिस निकल जाएगा। बिल्कुल, उसके बाद कड़क कार्रवाई हो जाएगी, और जब तक उनका प्रदूषण बंद नहीं होता है तब तक उसको परमिशन हम नहीं देंगे, बिल्कुल देंगे नहीं।
So while this is a step in the right direction, I want to remind our viewers we had two demands. One, that the polluting factories be shut down, and second, that the people who live in that neighborhood be moved out of there as quickly as possible. We will continue our campaign and our coverage to move those 30,000 families out of that neighborhood as quickly as possible. So our appeal right now to the state government to move these people out continues. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll come back to examine another interesting issue. It has been a couple of years since the government took the decision to demonetize our currency. Isn't it time we had an independent investigation to find out if that decision was good for us?